Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and today's video is going to be our reseller recap for the month of November. So if that is something you want to watch, then please stick around. Okay, so I was about to say pardon the mess. It's always messy, but pardon this mess. This is what decluttering looks like. Decluttering content looks like. If you're interested, I am in the midst of doing my declutter series on this channel. I will link it up in the corner for you. I have done skincare already, which is uploaded. I've already filmed foundation, and now I'm gonna get ready to film concealers and powders. So stay tuned for that. But what this video is about is we are going to recap the month of November and all things reselling. So if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Catherine. I am a beauty and reselling enthusiast, so that's what I like to talk about on this channel. But this particular series is basically going over all of my numbers in November reselling wise. I give you the highs and the lows and some notes, and hopefully you learn something from it or are entertained I should say. I'll start off saying all my makeup is currently in my December Shop My Stash, which I will link up in their corner for you. I am trying out a new lip today. It's a little bit different. I'm usually don't lean towards the browns, but this was a it's the Nabla Jelly something or other. I think it's the shade is in Lunar. All that will be linked down below, which are going to be affiliated if you choose to shop through them. Thank you so much. I earn a very small commission that keeps this channel thriving. But all that will be listed down below. But let's get into the numbers of things. So diving into it, total sales for the month. Not the best. Total sales were $804.03, which breaks down to about $26.80 per day. My total cost of goods was $330.09, and my total profit was $546.74, or it breaks down to about $18.22 a day. So I'm a part-time reseller, so I like to keep my numbers. I kind of upped my game this year, where I used to be really happy and comfortable around the $750 profit margin each month. I have been upping that to $1,000 profit. So, and for a lot of months I've made that, and for some months I haven't made that. So this is one of those months that I did not make that. My total number of items I sold was 34, which when I was comparing it to the previous month, I sold 74 items the previous month. So this only breaks down to about one item per day. Again, not super thrilled about that, but I'm happy that I had some sales. My average listing price per item was about $34.82. My average cost of goods was pretty high, which you'll see a little bit later in this video as to why it was pretty high, but it was $9.71 compared to, I think the month previously it was around like the $6 mark. So definitely higher cost of goods. And then my average profit per item was just over $16 at $16.08. Average days to sell an item, so I count from when I list the item to when I sell it, was 72 days. That does not include how many times I've relisted it. It just includes when I listed it that time to the time of selling it. And then the number of sales on each platform, because I do like to sell on a wide range of platforms to kind of get the most bang for my buck. I sold 4 items on eBay, 5 on Mercari, 3 on Depop, and the rest, which was 22, on Poshmark. So I always like to review some of my lowest and highest profits. We always start with the lowest because we like to end with the highest. So my lowest profiting item of this month was this let me scoot over so I can put pictures here. Was this Victoria's Secret Dream Angels lightly lined lace demi bra in this really pretty kind of like blue-green color. It did sell on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $9, which was on the higher side, but I do remember it was an item that I thought I was going to wear, but it ended up not working out for me, so I ended up listing it. It did sell for $20, so I profited $4.98 minus, shipping discounts and all that kind of stuff. It did sell within 129 days of the first time listing it, and it was sold on a 50% offer that I had sent out to all buyers. So very often this particular month of November, I was sending out a lot of like waterfall offers, you know, starting with 30, then 40, then 50, and I think I ended up getting to 60% off just because I wanted to move some items. So that was on a 50% off offer that I sent the buyers. The next item was another bra. It was a Gymshark Gray Marl Adept Seamless Strappy Sports Bra, which actually I just picked this another sports bra up just like this in a different colorway in my thrift trip yesterday, which if you're ever interested in any of my thrift hauls, I will link those up in the corner as well. A lot of these items have been shared on those thrift hauls. But this sports bra sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $5. It sold for $13, so I profited $5.05. And it sold 40 days within the second time of relisting it. So at this time, I am doing a lot more relisting just because it's easier at this point. I use Vendu, so it's just a few little clicks here and there and I relist stuff, opposed to listing all new stuff, which takes a lot of mental and physical energy that I do not have at this time. So relisting for the win. And if you don't relist your items, I really suggest that you do. It helps. But this sold an offer had I received an offer from the buyer for this, and again, sales were slow, so I accepted it. The next item was this Michael Kors Norma Brown Suede Ankle Wedge booties. They actually were in a size 12, which attracted me to pick them up. I mean, first of all, they were really cute too. But I like to kind of pick up those items that might be a little bit more hard to find for buyers, like on their own at the thrift stores, stuff like that. So bigger sizes typically sell well for me in my experience. This sold on eBay. My cost of goods was $8. It sold for $25 plus shipping. So I profited, I had to look at this right because I'm like, I like profited less than $6. I profited $5.86 on it. They did sell 54 days within the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer by the buyer, or I received an offer from the buyer, and it was a promoted listing. So that's why my my profit was so small, because it was promoted on eBay. So when you do promotions on eBay, you can choose like what percentage of like how much you're going to promote it. And I'm pretty sure for the longest time, I was just kind of doing the whatever automatic one that they say is good, which is usually, it used to be around like 8 to 10%. Now it's like 11-12%. And I've decided I'm stopping doing that because it is really eating into my profits, as we can see here. So all of my new eBay promotions are definitely not that high. I still promote them because it still works, but I don't do it as high. The next item is this Mad Engine Worth the Wait, and I'm just reading the titles that I put up for them. Mad Engine Worth the Wait Ugly Funny Christmas Holiday Sweatshirt. So this was the sweatshirt that I thrifted last year for our friend's annual ugly sweater party, and then listed it to sell. It didn't sell until November, so that's cool. But it did sell on Depop. My cost of goods was $6. It sold for $18, so I profited $9.25. It did sell within 181 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. And then our last lowest profiting item was this Ann Taylor Houndstooth Cropped Ann cardigan, super pretty cardigan. It did sell on eBay. My cost of goods was $5. It sold for $20 plus shipping, so I profited $9.30. It did sell within 40 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer on a promoted listing. All right, so now let's get into the good stuff, the highest profits. So my lowest highest profit, that's always a weird thing to say, was this Revice Denim Velvet Venus Flares and Mars bars. So it was this really kind of cool, if like you could say it was like a short velvet, like it wasn't like a, I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't like a thick velvet. It was kind of like a short velvet. There were these really cute, like high-waisted red velvet flares, and on the back it had the seaming of a star on the seat of the pants. They were really cool. They did have some wear on the bottoms because they were super long and the person didn't hem them, so there was a lot of wear on the bottoms, but I bought them for $3. They sold for $40 on Mercari. I don't know if I said that. And so I profited $30.96. They sold 32 days within the first time listing it. If you can hear my husband getting ice, sorry. And I always say, was it a full price sale ? It did sell within the limits I set on Mercari, so I think I listed it for like $65, and then I put like a bottom listing of so much, so it sold within that range. So I don't know if I call that a full price sale. I just call, like in my notes I just say full price sale ? Because it sold within those limits. So the next item was this Converse All-Star Plaid high top sneakers. They were a unisex pair. They sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $10. They sold for $55. So I profited $34. It did take 54 days to sell within the first time listing it, and they were a full price sale. So that is always exciting when you get full price sales. I get very, very excited for that. And then moving on to the next item was this Rare Bird acid wash button-up top. It did sell on eBay. My cost of goods was $7.75. It sold for $75 plus shipping, so I profited $45.52. It sold within 20 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer by the buyer. It was promoted. This brand I had never heard of before, and I didn't see any comps on it or anything like that. It was kind of a weird item, but you know what? I listed it. I did my research. I listed it and kind of priced it. I was like, well, this is weird, so I'm gonna price it a little bit high. And you know what? It sold. So weird sells. Don't be afraid of the weird things. If it's interesting to you, do a little bit more research. And then we moved back over onto Poshmark. I saw this, I don't know how to pronounce it, Viviea square toe Mary Jane shoes in this almond color. These shoes were kind of made somewhat popular by Selena Gomez. I think she wore a pair of heels by this brand and they went super viral. I've seen them on my Instagram a lot. Actually, after I found this thrifted pair, because they weren't in my right size, I went and I picked up another pair, which I will say I had to return the first pair because they didn't fit, and then the second pair still didn't fit. They actually like really hurt. So yeah, it was a big mess, but they kind of remind me of Rothy's a little bit, kind of that knit material, and they might need some, you know, you might need to wear them around a while for them to feel comfortable. Totally besides the point. So my cost of goods for those was $6.39. They sold for $68, so I profited $46.39. They sold within 1 day of listing for the first time, so that again is always exciting. And it did sell through an offer sent that I sent to the buyer through Posher VA, which was, I always do a 20% off. And within that first day of listing it, there was tons of offers, or I shouldn't say tons of offers, there was tons of interest on Poshmark. Like a lot of people had liked it very quickly after listing it. And then my very highest profiting item this month was, well, I should say for the month of November, was this Eileen Fisher aubergine goat suede A-line panel skirt. Super pretty skirt. It sold on eBay. My cost of goods was $7.39. It sold for $120 plus shipping. So I profited $81.58. It sold 103 days from the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer, and it was sold on a promoted listing. So now we talked about the single items, so now let's talk bundles. Yeah, not a fan of this lowest bundle, and you'll see why. So this bundle was comprised of a pair of Freebird stocked heel, zipper boots, L'artiste booty, and then a Hill House dress, and that is completely sold out online. my cost of goods was $116.68 for all 3 items. 2 of those items, the pair of Freebirds and the Hill House dress, I paid over $50 each for. So it was definitely a very high cost of goods. It sold for $91. Yep, $91. So I profited a negative $43.88. That is the most I've ever lost on some items. So why that happened is because I opted to do a flash sale in November. I just kind of got a wild hair, and I saw somebody else like had posted their sale on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, see if anybody bites, and just try to move some items quickly. Well, it wasn't a super popular sale, but somebody got a very good deal, and there's always a combination in my closet of things that I swear people just like know that if I put this item with this item with this item, she's gonna lose money, because those are the ones that I have the most money invested in. But you know what? I decided to just take the sale anyways, because again, those are 3 items out of my closet. Those Freebird boots, I swear to you, were cursed. They were cursed because they were returned twice. Yes, they were returned twice. So I just wanted them out, and they were a very small size. I think they were size 5. So I wanted them out. So I just decided to take it. I kind of secretly hoped that like a case would have been open, so I would have been like, yeah, give me my items back. That would have been fine. So that's the only time that I had hoped for a case, and a case did not happen. Weird, I know. So yeah, that was not fun, losing almost $44, but it is what it is. Whatever. And then my highest my highest profit in bundles was a pair of Steve Madden Miles sneakers and a pair of Adidas court lace shoes, which were a kid size. My cost of goods for both items were $9.31. They sold for $40 in my 2 for $40 sale, and I profited $22.69. So that was nice. I had 0 same day sales, but I did have a couple, like a handful of same week sales, which is nice. Those full price sales, so I had 2 real full price sales. So one of them was the Converse, another one was a pair of Peloton shoes, which they sold, and then Poshmark, like literally, I don't know, a month later was like, oh, you can't sell these on Poshmark, and it's going to be a moderator's removing them. And it's like, well, they already sold, so I guess you can't sell Peloton shoes. I think other people got that message too. Let me know if you got that message. So those are my 2 real full price sales, and then I had 3 of Mercari that were, you know, within that range of full price, lowest end, but still not making an offer. I don't know a better way to describe that. So I'm always running a 2 for $40 sale, meaning that any item that is currently priced $99 and below, you can get 2 items for $40. So if you play your cards right, you can get $198 worth of stuff for $40. So I had 2 sales, which comprised of 4 items each. Not 4 items each, sorry, 4 items total. Then I have been looking into offers received and offers sent, just to kind of see what data there is there. I did receive, so the buyer had sent me an offer 12 times, so that includes singles and bundles, and then offers that I sent out was 9. I also look in kind of promoted and boosted listings, because promoted is on eBay, boosted is on Depop. I don't do Poshmark, the beta program. I did that when it was free, and I think I only made 1 sale from it. Didn't seem worth it to me. I don't like how they have it set up. So I only do it on eBay and Depop. So 5 of the sales were promoted, 1 was not. Okay, so then I always like to give myself some notes and just to kind of learn from previous months. So with November, I did take the last pretty much 2 weeks of November off for the holidays and my birthday. So I just didn't list as much. I was with family. We were literally out of out of town, so for a week, so I didn't have access to do anything. So with that happens, you know, you're just not as active. So I do believe being consistent with your activity is very important for algorithms and sales and stuff like that. So when you're not as active, you're just not going to get as many sales. So I'm sure that had a huge part into why November wasn't the greatest either. Like I was telling you earlier, I had a flash sale, so I was accepting all offers. The only stipulation was that you had to be able to actually make the physical offer in Poshmark. I do know that they have some stipulations of like, you can't make a 95% off offer. Like I think it's around like maybe the 70 or 80% off mark. So I just kind of let people decide what they wanted to, because I've heard in the past, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that if it's $100 thing, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna try to offer as low as possible, because that I want a deal. So, you know, if people are going to say, hey, any offer is accepted, I'm gonna see what that lowest offer is. Other people are a little bit nicer than that. They don't feel comfortable doing that, so they'll still like, okay, well, maybe like 40% off. So that's why sometimes it's a gamble if you say like a name your price sale or something like that. But anyways, the offer had to be like, you had to be able to input it into Poshmark for it to be viable. We saw that I lost money on that. That was a really impulsive sale. I usually like to plan for my sales a little bit better, but sometimes in the past I've had impulsive sales and a lot of stuff sells. So it just is a toss up. Let's see. Oh, another thing that I did try is I live in a neighborhood that we have a Facebook group, like community group and stuff like that. And so I just said, hey, maybe I'll try in-person sales and see what happens. I did last year, we had a fall festival in our community, and I decided to do in-person sales, and it was relatively okay for the first time me doing it. So instead of kind of doing all the effort of being part of a fair and setting up and breaking down, I was like, let's just try it in person. And I basically gave them a link to my Poshmark closet. I kind of explained what I did and gave them a pretty generous discount if they wanted to come over and try stuff on and do all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people, I'll take that back. It wasn't a lot of people, but I did have some interest in it, but only one person ended up buying something, and she was another reseller. So, but I did meet a few resellers in the community, so that was kind of cool. And I profited off of the one item that I sold. And then my last note I wrote for myself is that I sold a lot of shoes, which was very good, because shoes are what takes up the most space. It's what I have probably the most backlog of is shoes. And so I'm trying to sell as many as I can to kind of make more space for the inventoried ones to come in, or I should say unprocessed ones to make to have space. So that was really nice. Glad to get rid of some shoes. And with that is everything for November. Overall, it was an okay month for not working as much on it. You know, like I'd love to have made $1,000 profit, but it is what it is. December is already much better than it was last year. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but trust me, it was a lot better than last year. I have a feeling for December, I'll do what I did last year as well and kind of do like a December plus the whole 2023 reseller recap, so we can kind of compare numbers. So stay tuned for that. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. The best gift that you can give me or another YouTuber is watching their video all the way through, engaging with it. So like, subscribe, comment, do all of those wonderful YouTube things before you leave to help a YouTuber out, a reseller too, a YouTuber out. It's totally appreciated, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.